Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like something's changed, but you can't quite put your finger on it? Maybe your energy feels off in the morning, or those moments of confidence in the bedroom just aren't what they used to be. If you've ever quietly wondered, is this just aging? You're not alone. And I've got something important to tell you: it might not be age. It might be your breakfast. Yes, that's right. The very fruits you're reaching for in the morning, thinking you're making a healthy choice, might actually be sabotaging your vitality as a man over 60. We've all been told for years that fruit is good for you, and that's not wrong. But here's the catch: not all fruit is created equal, and some of it can actually interfere with your testosterone levels, energy, and yes, your ability to maintain strong, healthy erections. So if you've been peeling a banana, slicing up some pineapple, or tossing grapes into your cereal thinking you're doing the right thing, stick with me. This video might just change the way you start your mornings and how you feel throughout your day. Now, before we dive in, let me be clear: this isn't about scaring you away from fruit. It's about understanding how your body changes as you age, and how certain foods that used to work for you when you were 30 or 40 might be holding you back now. Once you know which fruits to watch out for and why, they're easy to replace. Small adjustments can lead to big results. Let's talk about what could be hiding behind your breakfast plate. Let's start with one that's often seen as the healthiest of the bunch: grapefruit. It's tangy, it's refreshing, and for decades, it's been the poster child of clean eating. But here's the truth most guys don't hear: grapefruit messes with your medications. Big time. Especially the ones many men over 60 are taking: blood pressure pills, cholesterol meds, even some heart medications. Grapefruit can block an enzyme in your liver that processes these drugs. What does that mean for your morning routine? It means your medication could hit your bloodstream harder than it should, or not at all. Both of those outcomes can mess with your circulation, and good blood flow is everything when it comes to sexual health. Without it, nothing works the way it's supposed to. So even though grapefruit seems harmless, it could be silently dragging down your performance without you realizing it. And then there's bananas. Yep, I said it. Bananas, the go-to fruit for quick energy and easy digestion. But here's the thing about bananas: they're loaded with sugar. Natural sugar, yes, but your body doesn't always care where sugar comes from, especially when you're older and more sensitive to insulin changes. High sugar spikes in the morning, even from fruit, can lead to a crash later in the day. That crash can zap your energy and lower testosterone production over time. Plus, bananas are high in serotonin, which in small doses is fine. But too much can actually lower your libido and make you feel tired, not turned on. If you've ever felt foggy, sleepy, or just plain off a couple hours after your breakfast smoothie, the banana might be to blame. Now think about this: how many times have you thrown together a quick fruit bowl or smoothie with grapes? They're easy. They're sweet. And they feel harmless, right? But grapes are one of the highest sugar fruits you can eat, and they're packed with something called phytoestrogens. These are plant compounds that mimic estrogen in your body. For women, that's not necessarily a bad thing. But for men? Estrogen-like compounds are the enemy of testosterone. And testosterone is your fuel. It's what gives you drive, strength, confidence, and yes, sexual stamina. So, the more grapes you're eating each morning, the more you could be unknowingly tipping the hormonal balance in the wrong direction. You see, it's not about demonizing these fruits, it's about understanding how your body reacts to them at this stage of life. When you were younger, your metabolism and hormones could handle a lot more variation. But after 60, your body becomes more reactive to spikes, crashes, and imbalances. What you eat in the morning sets the tone for your entire day, your mood, your energy, your motivation, and your performance. And if you're thinking, well, I've always eaten bananas and grapes, what's the big deal? I hear you. The big deal is that these little choices add up. One banana doesn't destroy your testosterone. One grapefruit won't crash your circulation. But eating them every morning without realizing what they're doing behind the scenes? That's a slow, quiet drain on your vitality. And that's what we're here to fix. You deserve to feel alive in the morning. You deserve to feel confident, like your body is working for you, not against you. And it starts with understanding the foods that either fuel your fire or throw water on the flame. Now that we've talked about how grapefruit, bananas, and grapes might be working against you, let's move on to the next few fruits that could be hiding in plain sight, sneaking into your breakfast, and slowly dragging your energy and performance down without you even knowing it. Let's keep going, because the next one on our list might surprise you even more than the last. You ever slice up a bit of pineapple to add that sweet, tropical kick to your breakfast? Maybe throw it in a blender, or even enjoy a can with your morning toast? Here's what you need to know: pineapple is a sugar bomb in disguise. Yes, it has vitamin C and enzymes that help with digestion, but that massive sugar load? That's not doing your testosterone levels any favors. Especially first thing in the morning, when your blood sugar is most sensitive. When you eat pineapple, your body experiences a sugar surge, which might feel great for a few minutes, like a little energy burst. But it quickly backfires. Your insulin rises, your testosterone drops, and before you know it, your energy tanks and your mental focus starts to blur. Over time, this up and down pattern can also contribute to insulin resistance, which is closely tied to erectile dysfunction. See how it all connects? And if you're thinking, but I eat the fresh kind, not the canned syrupy stuff, here's the kicker: even fresh pineapple has nearly as much sugar as a soda in terms of glycemic load. So if you're over 60 and already watching your blood sugar, cholesterol, or blood pressure, that pineapple might not be the golden ticket you thought it was. Now, let's talk about watermelon. I know what you're thinking: wait, isn't watermelon good for circulation? You've probably heard that it contains citrulline, which helps blood flow. And that's true, but only in tiny amounts. To get a noticeable boost, you'd have to eat an entire melon, rind and all, which no one's doing. What most people don't realize is that watermelon is mostly water and sugar. A big slice of watermelon can spike your blood glucose just as much as a sugary breakfast cereal. And guess what happens next? The same blood sugar roller coaster. Your insulin goes up, testosterone goes down, and your drive, both physical and sexual, takes a dip. Even worse, for many older men, watermelon doesn't satisfy hunger. You eat it, feel good for a moment, then crash an hour later and reach for a bagel or something else to fill the gap. It's not giving you long-lasting fuel, it's just a sweet illusion. So while it might feel refreshing, it's not helping you feel more alive or more like yourself. Speaking of fruits that seem innocent, let's look at oranges. They're practically the mascot for breakfast, right? Orange juice on the table, maybe a couple slices on the side, it's been a staple for decades. But here's the problem: oranges are incredibly acidic. And that acidity might be wearing down your gut health without you noticing. As men age, your digestive system becomes more sensitive. If you're already dealing with acid reflux, indigestion, or bloating, having oranges on an empty stomach can make things worse. You might feel tight in your chest, sluggish, or uncomfortable, not exactly the way you want to start the day. But beyond digestion, there's something even more important. When your gut isn't happy, your hormones suffer. A healthy gut is closely linked to testosterone production. If your digestive system is inflamed or stressed out, your body isn't going to prioritize hormone balance. It's too busy dealing with the chaos in your stomach. And that means lower testosterone, lower energy, and yes, weaker erections. So while oranges might give you that tangy, nostalgic morning flavor, the long-term cost might not be worth it. And let's not forget about apples. Now, I know that sounds crazy: an apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? Sure, apples have fiber and some good nutrients. But breakfast might not be the best time for them. Especially not if you're relying on them as your main morning fuel. Here's why: Apples contain a type of sugar called fructose. Now, fructose is metabolized in the liver, which means it bypasses your body's usual insulin response, but that doesn't make it harmless. In fact, too much fructose can overwhelm your liver, especially when consumed alone, like in the morning when you haven't eaten anything else. That strain can lead to fat buildup in the liver and contribute to something called metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions that are directly tied to low testosterone and erectile issues. Plus, apples don't give you sustained energy on their own. You might feel a little full for a bit, but without protein or healthy fats to balance things out, it's another setup for a mid-morning slump. And here's the truth, that slump might not just be physical. It can affect your mood, focus, and drive all the things you want to preserve as you age. So what does this all mean? Should you stop eating fruit altogether? Not at all. But you need to get smart about when and how you eat it and which fruits are really supporting your health as a man over 60. The truth is, your body is different now. It's wiser, yes, but also more sensitive. What you eat in the morning matters more than ever. You want foods that stabilize your blood sugar, support testosterone, and keep your energy even throughout the day, not ones that send you into a spiral of sugar spikes and hormonal crashes. If you've been feeling less like yourself lately, less motivated, less strong, less intimate, it's not just part of getting older. Sometimes, it's the quiet culprits hiding in plain sight on your breakfast plate. But the good news is, you can take back control, starting today. There are better options out there, foods that will support your manhood, not hinder it. And as we continue, we're going to reveal the rest of the hidden fruit culprits you should watch out for so you can build your mornings around real vitality, not false starts. Now, let's wrap this up by talking about the last of these sneaky saboteurs that might be finding their way onto your plate: dried fruits. Yes, raisins, dried cranberries, prunes, dates, they all seem like compact, nutrient-rich snacks. You may even sprinkle a few over oatmeal or eat them straight from the bag thinking, it's just fruit, it must be good for me. But here's the thing most men don't realize, these little wrinkled power punchers are condensed sugar traps. When fruit is dried, the water is removed, but the sugar? That's left behind, concentrated in every tiny bite. A small handful of raisins can contain more sugar than a donut, and without the hydration and fiber you'd get from the fresh version, your body gets hit fast and hard. Blood sugar shoots up, insulin kicks in, and testosterone production takes a hit right after. Not exactly the breakfast of champions. Worse still, many dried fruits sold today are coated with added sugar and preservatives like sulfur dioxide, which can cause inflammation and worsen digestive issues. And we've already talked about what poor digestion does to your hormone balance. So while you might think prunes are good for keeping things regular, if you're relying on dried fruits daily, especially in the morning, they could be silently sabotaging your vitality in more ways than one. You see, at this stage of life, every bite matters a little more. Your body's no longer running on autopilot like it did when you were 25. Now it's a more finely tuned machine, one that needs the right kind of fuel. And that's not bad news. It's actually empowering, because it means small changes can make a big difference. If you've been eating these fruits in the morning and wondering why your energy feels like a roller coaster, why you're more irritable in the afternoon, or why your intimacy feels out of sync, this could be the missing piece. The good news? You don't need to give up fruit entirely. In fact, fruit can still be part of a healthy breakfast, you just need to be strategic about which ones you eat, how you pair them, and when. Think of breakfast not just as your first meal, but as your foundation for the entire day. If you start with foods that spike your blood sugar, you're setting yourself up for a crash physically, emotionally, and hormonally. But if you begin the day with stability, protein, healthy fats, and low glycemic foods, your body responds with balance, strength, and confidence. So what does that actually look like? Instead of a banana and orange juice, try a couple of boiled eggs, a slice of avocado, and a handful of berries like blueberries or blackberries. These are lower in sugar, packed with antioxidants, and help stabilize blood sugar rather than send it soaring. Add some Greek yogurt or a protein shake, and you've got a breakfast that fuels your manhood instead of draining it. And that's really the point here. This isn't about restriction, it's about liberation. Liberating yourself from the myths that certain healthy foods are always good for you. Liberating yourself from the idea that aging means decline. Because it doesn't have to. Not if you know what your body needs now. Not if you take back the steering wheel and start making choices that support your strength, your energy, your drive. The men I've seen take this knowledge seriously, who swap out sugary fruits for smarter fuel, who cut back on the morning spikes and start feeding their bodies what they truly need, they notice the difference fast. Their energy lasts longer. Their confidence returns. And yes, their performance, both mentally and physically, improves. You deserve that, too. You deserve to wake up feeling ready, not run down. You deserve to enjoy mornings where you're focused, steady, and strong. Where your breakfast builds you up, instead of dragging you down. So let's do a quick recap, not in a checklist kind of way, but just to bring it home. Grapefruit, bananas, grapes, pineapple, watermelon, oranges, apples, and dried fruits like raisins and prunes. Each of these can interfere with your hormones, your blood sugar, and ultimately, your bedroom confidence, especially when eaten alone and especially first thing in the morning. By simply being aware, by tweaking a few habits, and by listening to your body's signals, you can reclaim your mornings and everything that comes after. It's not about going backward in time. It's about moving forward with strength, wisdom, and control. If this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What's your go-to breakfast, and what changes are you thinking about making after hearing this? Share your experiences, you never know who else you might inspire. And if you found this video helpful, please take a moment to like it and subscribe to the channel. We're here to help you live your best, strongest life at any age, with real tips, real talk, and real results. Remember, your age doesn't define your energy, your strength, or your drive.